Welcome to my channel. Here, it's all about reading the most wonderful fairy tales to you in a modern presentation. To make sure you don't miss anything, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. This way, you'll always be informed about new videos. Look forward to many exciting reading sessions. The Little Muck, a modern version. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Muck, who was small and had a very large head. Muck had no parents anymore and lived alone in a small town. One day, Muck decided to seek his fortune in the world. With his small supply of bread and water, he left his homeland. Muck wandered for a long time, and his journey eventually led him to a big city. As he walked through the streets, he noticed a house with a sign, "Help Wanted." He knocked on the door and was greeted by an old woman. Her name was Mrs. Ahavesi, and she was known for collecting strange things. The old lady offered Muck a job as a servant, promising him food and a soft bed if he helped her tend the garden and keep the house clean. The little Muck was happy about the offer and immediately began working. He was diligent and honest, but the other servants of the old woman didn't like him. They often teased him about his small stature and big head. But Muck didn't let their meanness get him down and always did his work with great zeal. One day, as Muck was looking through the old things in the attic, he found a pair of old slippers and a walking stick. Suddenly, he remembered the words of an old fairy tale his mother had told him, "These slippers have magical powers. They can make you run faster than the wind, and the stick shows you the way to hidden treasures." Full of curiosity, Muck put on the slippers and grabbed the stick. Immediately, he felt a tingling in his feet, and his legs felt lighter. He ran out into the garden, and indeed, he ran faster than the wind and could hardly recognize the trees, he was so fast. With the stick in his hand, Muck felt brave and strong. He decided to find the hidden treasures his mother had told him about. The stick led him over mountains, through forests, and deserts until he finally came to a mysterious cave. In the cave, Muck found a lot of gold and gems. He was overwhelmed by the sight, but then he thought that wealth alone would not determine his happiness. So he took only a few gems and returned to the city. With his new speed and the treasure stick, Muck was able to do amazing things. He helped the farmers in the city plow their fields faster and rescued travelers who got into trouble on the way. People began to love and respect him, and soon the whole city was talking about the wonderful deeds of the little Muck. One day, the king heard about the miracle boy and summoned him to the court. The king wanted to have Muck all to himself to use his fast feet and the treasure stick for the kingdom. Muck was warmly welcomed at the court, but the other advisors of the king were jealous of him. They made plans to get rid of Muck and get him into trouble. The king's advisors set traps for Muck and tried to make him look bad in front of the king. But Muck was smart and saw through their plans. He used the magic slippers and the stick wisely to avoid their traps and even expose the mean advisors. The king was very impressed by Muck's courage and cleverness. He decided to make Muck his new chief advisor and gave him a place in the palace. But Muck missed his freedom and the adventures he had experienced on his travels. One day, when the moon was bright in the sky, Muck decided to leave the palace and go out into the world. He said goodbye to the king and the people in the palace and set off. With his magic slippers, Muck traveled through many countries, helping people and experiencing new adventures. He became a legend, told in every village and city. One day, while wandering through a forest, Muck met a group of children who looked up at him curiously. He sat down with them and began to tell them about his adventures. The children listened with wide eyes, and Muck felt happier than ever before. He realized that he had found his true purpose, to help others and give them hope. Muck decided to open a school for poor and orphan children near the forest. He taught them everything he had learned and used the treasures he had found to support the school. The children loved and appreciated him, and Muck finally found his true home. And so, the little Muck lived happily and contentedly, filled his life with meaning, and proved that greatness lies not in stature but in the heart. And when the children sat around him every evening and listened to his stories, their laughter and joy were the greatest treasures he had ever possessed. This was the story of the little Muck, who accomplished great things despite his small size and possessed a heart full of courage and kindness. May his adventures and deeds inspire all those who believe in themselves and their dreams. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new fairy tales.